Welcome back, Duplicant folks. I'm Gaming Dad, and today I'm showing you a game I've been playing for the past month or so. Oxygen not included. Even though I haven't been making everyday videos, I have been playing this game almost every day. And now that the rocketry update or upgrade is about to come, just tomorrow, I thought, hey, I'm gonna be making new base. Let's show this base to people. So I started in a kind of nice location you cannot see anymore. I built myself some barracks, I built myself some storage, and for food I started with mule wood and mule ice, then quickly transitioned into bristle blossom. It wasn't as problematic as in my Let's Play because I had 3 pockets of water and they were mostly below 30 degrees. They were 25, 23 degrees Celsius. And the water is the key to getting this body temperature down. So I was able to go for 100, 150 cycles before running out of water. Brittle blossom makes perfect food. Lovely. Then unfortunately I was running out of water, so I started sieving the polluted water, and this temperature went up. I tried to make some cooling system. As you can see, this was pretty efficient at a point with cooling metal tiles to exchange the heat pretty fast. A hydrogen filled room with a bunch of Weesworth. However, recently it stopped working because I'm getting the water that's getting in here is really high temperature, so it doesn't work. You might be wondering what do I store here? It's ice. It's mostly ice. I expected it to melt and fill in the water tank. It didn't quite work. Maybe these should be on the bottom so they heat up faster. But this way my dupes could fill them in without going into the water and without getting a watery debuff. So the water got high, the temperature of the water got high, the bristle blossoms started failing. I moved on to dust caps. Apparently dust caps are pretty easy and a good source of food. This is my second design. One of this design was under here. I wanted to keep this main shaft going up and down, so I moved it here. Pretty nice. I think it could be lower. It's so wide because it's so low as well. I think it's possible to make the room one smaller and therefore extend it a little bit to get more dust caps. But airflow tiles up and here put all the carbon dioxide that people breathe out, goes on the way to the bottom. And then one tile here and mechanical doors prevent it from escaping. Perfect environment for mushrooms. So that's what I'm doing for food. I had a farm of sleetweeds like in my Let's Play. However, this quickly became too hot and didn't work, so I abandoned it completely. For oxygen, very briefly, I had an algae deoxidizer, but I'm not a fan of algae, so I don't know why people use them all that much. I moved on to SPOMs. It's a design I found online. You put electrolyzers, pumps up and down, therefore the gases separate themselves, and you put a hydrogen generator in here to power everything up and save some battery. Weesworths provide cooling so that the oxygen is pretty nice temperature when it comes out. Ideally all this would have been encased in isolated tiles. I didn't have them, so I built this. I couldn't get it to work quite well enough to get rid of the filter, or to not have to add a filter. So I have a filter that filters hydrogen out because the hydrogen generator was breaking all the time, and there's no, in the normal design there's no doors here, so I couldn't get in. I had to remove these. It's a cool design. I don't think I'll be making it anymore. I think I'll split it up so that there's a pump or electrolyzers to pump, reservoirs for cooling, and then I'll keep the hydrogen generator outside the room so that it's easier to fix it if a bad air gets in. For new stuff, we have a bunch of new rooms. Where's the rooms? One of them is recreation room. You have a disco, you have a water cooler. There's some new elements because dupes now have schedules. I built a lot of schedules where you can say, oh, here they're sleeping, then they wake up, have some downtime where they can, or this is bath time, then some downtime where they can go to relax, eat, shower, whatever, and then at work. So they don't run back and forth between toilet and shower. I decided to move the downtime a bit for every schedule and just keep 2 dupes on that schedule because I only have 2 bathrooms. I saw people making a lot of bathrooms. I only have 2 and they don't really have problems. There's 2 dupes at a time that have a break, so they go in here, do their business and go out. But yeah, when they have downtime, they go into recreation room as well. Another room that's new is a great hall. It's this one, provides morale bonus. Morale is a new mechanic as well. A bunch of mass tables and some recreational thing, and a bunch of paintings. I think the masterpiece is required to get a great hall, and that's it. I went with multiple gas grills, producing different things because you can't queue multiple things. If one of them doesn't have ingredients, the others don't get built. So that's what I did. After a while, I made a hatchery for all my different hatches and tried to replicate. The purpose was to get these beautiful, beautiful smooth hatches that produce gold, or they produce refined metal, and it was really nice. I made it. I'm really happy with this one. Produces a lot of refined metal without me having to worry about that. Another thing I wanted to get are these glossy Dracos. They're more funny to have because they eat actual mealwood, so they eat the plants themselves. You can shear them, but to get their scales to grow back, these produce plastic, these produce reed fiber. They have to be in hydrogen, so you have to do this kind of fancy setup with. I have a very simple one. That's a element sensor, and then it goes to NOT gate and that's gas something. Yeah, gas shut off. It just hydrogen stops coming whenever it gets to this point. It works pretty well. So, my hatcheries, I was planning on getting one for the slicksters, but didn't get to it. One of the few things I found early in the game was this nice copper volcano. You haven't seen this before either. It produces molten copper at 2000 degrees. I looked up a design of how to cool that. I didn't have all the ingredients or technologies yet, so I built this one where it fills it all with water and tries to cool it down. The design changed a bit. I tried cooling down the water first, but then when I had trouble getting any water for myself, I expanded it to do a kind of water, what do you call it, cleaning up, where this polluted water boils up, turns into steam, steam flies here and drips down back to normal water and gets pumped out. It worked fairly well, but it produces very, very hot water. Something I built very, very late are exosuit exits. There's 3 of them or 4 of them, and it doesn't work very well. I think next time I'll just build one exit. They tend to pick up an exosuit and drop it at another exit, and if there's already filled in, then they just drop it on the floor and never use it again. Therefore, I have more docks than exosuits. I don't like it. I'll do it differently. My hydrogen chlorine gas vent, that's the best one I have. It has been very peaceful all the time, and just doing growing balm lilies here. They stopped growing recently because I exchanged normal gas vent with, or I didn't have a gas vent. I started putting chlorine back in here because it was all around in my base. I had problem growing pincha peppers because I was using polluted water from everywhere, and it was too cold. Again, too cold. So that was a problem. My power plant station, I'm using these control stations and smart batteries to not use up coal. I had no problems with coal this playthrough. Built a bunch of hydrogen, or a hydrogen generator, a bunch of natural gas generators, and a petroleum that doesn't work now because my petroleum tank is empty. There was a bunch of other vents. These are 2 steam vents. One is hot, one is cold. Only recently I started getting more and more water out of them. Other than that, they've been going on their own. Downstairs we have, what do we have? A natural gas generator, that's nice, and I moved my refinery here. In here there was a farm, and here we found an thermal nullifier pretty far away. I wanted to do this very recently. I wanted to try out this liquid cooling, where it's filled with hydrogen, cools down the oil to minus 20 degrees, and then goes back up and cools my base. It's not working very well. I need to get it. These pipes, they lose like 5 or 15 degrees on the way here, so I need to get them insulated. So I didn't use it all that much. Here we have carbon dioxide geyser, which apparently produces carbon dioxide at minus 50 degrees. I hoped it would cool this area. It did not. Yep, there's magma here. I was thinking about putting a case of insulated stuff around it and then pumping carbon dioxide cold one out, but it didn't quite work. Oil reservoir, I didn't use it. Up we have another natural gas vent and hydrogen vent. I think this might heat up too fast, but for now it works. And then if we go further up here, I found another nullifier, but I didn't get to it. Because there's space out here, and it gets peppered with meteors from time to time. So I was kind of afraid to go out here and vent all my atmosphere. But that's something I should do next time. Absolutely, especially that it's rocketry. There should be rockets there. But yeah, space, haha. So this is my base. Things I've learned. I didn't research everything all at once. I started building very early. I had a bit of a problem with slime lung. That's why I have big medical room. But all in all, it wasn't that difficult. You shouldn't be too afraid to go out. I built a bunch of deoxidizers or deodorizers around to remove polluted oxygen, and that worked very well. People got sick a little bit, but then they recovered, and it wasn't such a big problem. Especially that my main base was full of pure oxygen, so everything worked fine. I like this Wiesworth cooling. I think I'm gonna keep that and use that. Like I said, I'm gonna change this one, but I'll try. I think next time I'll try researching a little bit more before expanding, so that I get these nice exosuit dogs before exosuits before going out. So that's my base. I hope you like this introduction. It's a goodbye base. Tomorrow we get rocketry. I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye.
Bye bye. See you soon. Give me that.